Ladies and gentlemen, I am in Gaydon, United Kingdom right now, and well, it's been a great day and you are seeing a superstar here with me. This is the much awaited Range Rover Electric, and I am one of the first few journalists in the world to be experiencing this vehicle in the test facility here at Gaydon. So, well, that is a part we will come to over the next few minutes. But first of all, let me tell you what the Range Rover Electric is all about and how is it different from a petrol model. Now let's start off with the design of the Range Rover Electric first, and this is something that I really like about this car. It looks like a standard Range Rover, and that's where a lot of brands have got it wrong. The reason why we do not see luxury EVs becoming popular is because of them looking very different from the original models. But here you get that same liked, universally loved Range Rover design. Yes, there are a few differences. For example, this grille. Now this model here is a prototype, so when you see the production model, it'll be a bit different, but this grille is unique to the Range Rover EV. Beyond that, it still has the same design language as a standard Range Rover. So yes, it doesn't veer off from that design. It feels like a Range Rover. And also on the sides, again, some difference in terms of wheels. Naturally, the design is to reduce the coefficient of drag, increase the range. So that's the kind of change you see in terms of design. But overall, it's still got that massive road presence that you expect from Range Rover, and it looks really good. Now, just because the Range Rover Electric looks like a standard Range Rover doesn't mean that the company just took the platform, changed the powertrain, and you get an electric. No, there is a lot of clever engineering that has gone into this vehicle, and let me show you some of it. Now, if you look at the back, first of all, being an EV, it does not have an exhaust system, so definitely this design is new here. It helps the aerodynamic efficiency too. Here, what you see, this edge. Now, this has been specifically designed to not just improve the aerodynamic efficiency, but also ensure that the air flows in such a way that it doesn't go up and creates those disturbances, which will again lead to a dirty windshield back here. So a lot of clever thought that has gone into all of this designing. Even the control arms, well, I'm sure you might not be able to see it here, but there are some clever aero bits there as well. And the battery itself, the floor, it's a flat floor because you have the battery there. The battery itself has some gap, which means the shield and the cells inside, they are spaced out, and that allows this structure to go through all kind of torture tests that a petrol Range Rover can. So any kind of impact that you would go probably at a ramp breakover angle or during off-roading, this can take that while ensuring the battery isn't damaged. So a lot of this clever engineering that we're seeing in this vehicle, of course, we're not driving it, but we will be experiencing the vehicle as a co-passenger. So that's where I'll talk more about the performance and what you can expect from the Range Rover Electric. This is the heart of the Range Rover Electric. Now, before I go ahead and tell you what is where, well, first of all, let me mention one special thing about these tires. Now, in most EVs, we see the tires are specific, low friction tires, but here, these are all-weather tires, same as you would find in the ICE vehicle. So that's something really different about the Range Rover Electric. Now, this, of course, is the battery pack. What you see here that looks like a gearbox, this is the power control unit housing a lot of these control units, and that's the front electric motor. That's the rear. Of course, this one will have a bit more power than the front. We don't have the exact numbers yet, but in total, like I said earlier, it will give you about 550 PS of power, 850 Newton meters of torque. And a different thing, or a rather special thing about this battery is that it is bolted onto the chassis. And like we see on engines where the engine and the chassis marriage happens, in a similar way, this battery pack it goes from the underside into the chassis. It's bolted and hence is part of the entire body. It's also got a very clean design here, as a result of which, when you look at the final vehicle, it has a nice clean design which helps aerodynamics. And well, in terms of the entire architecture, this is the kind of details we have right now. Range of the official number is not out, but from whatever we have been able to gather, expect a range of anywhere about 500 kilometers claimed range, and the real world range will let you know once we get our hands on the car and drive it in the real world. Well, to sum up my experience of the Range Rover Electric, first of all, do I think that it could work? Well, I definitely do. And why is that? Well, a lot of EVs that we see in the luxury space, like I've said earlier, in terms of design, they're a complete breakaway from the traditional designs, and it just hasn't worked. Now, this design is a globally accepted design. It's a desirable design, and it's a smart thing that the company has just kept it the same way. So that definitely works. In terms of the tech, in terms of the powertrain, again, it's got the numbers. And like I said earlier during the driving impression, it performs better on almost every aspect, be it the sound inside, the kind of noise insulation, or off-road performance or dynamic performance. It just improves in terms of, performance out there. So yes, it's a great vehicle from that perspective. In terms of launch timelines, well, it will be globally unveiled later this year. We do not have details in terms of the India launch timeline, but it will come to India. Whether it will work globally or not, that's something we will need to wait and see how the market responds. But things do look pretty warm for this, because the company already has more than 61,000 expression of interest globally, out of which more than 400 are from India. So yes, as far as the initial impressions are concerned, I think the Range Rover Electric has got all the right boxes checked.